Are you ready for it? Really?
All right, Transportation, Highway Safety and Policy Subcommittee will come to order if the clerk will open the roll so that we can take attendance. Is that you also? Oh.
We're not getting up last year. Let me go there now, sorry.
All right, we're waiting on attendance.
Let's take attendance, man.
All right, I'm not seeing it come up, so we'll do attendance manually. So if the clerk would please call attendance, please.
Yeah. Ward? McQuinn?
Present.
Anthony?
Here.
Thomas?
Present.
Meta? Pope Adams?
Here.
Ballard?
Present.
Phillips?
Present.
We have a quorum.
And me.
And Reed, sorry.
Present. All right, we have a quorum, and so we're going to go ahead and get started with Senator Bagby. I know that you were here.
7?
Yeah, let's start with 437, and I believe that we have a substitute.
2, sir.
So, there's been a motion, there's been a second. All those in favor of the substitute, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the substitute is now before us, Senator Bagby, so if you could tell us what your green warning lights and what the substitute does, that would be appreciated.
Thank you. The bill authorizes alternating green and amber warning lights on truck-mounted alternators vehicles in Virginia highway work zones. And the substitute adds additional vehicles, allow snow plows to be used for clearing or removing of snow, or on along public highways to use alternating amber and green lights. So pretty much adding alternating green lights in work zones. That's the bill.
Okay, thank you, Senator Bagby. And do we have any questions from any members of the subcommittee? All right, seeing no questions, we will go to the audience. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor of the legislation?
They're just gonna wave.
Well, Phil, you can come on down, and we're going to give you 30 seconds, and I also see Gordon. So come on down, and Randy, you've got us queued up for 30 seconds, right?
Very briefly, Mr. Chairman, Phil Abraham, representing the Old Dominion Highway Contractors. We thank Senator Bagby for bringing this bill to help protect our highway workers with this very narrow exception to allow green and amber lights on the truck-mounted attenuators. There are over 3,700 crashes a year in work zones, and this will give an extra layer of protection for both the traveling public and the workers. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Phil. And Gordon, if we can.
Mr. Chairman, Gordon Dixon with the Virginia Transportation Construction Alliance, echo what Phil Abraham said. Just add that over the past 10 years, there have been over 12 peer-reviewed studies. And so there's science behind the green lights. It's not just a random color. It's a better light than white lights or any other lights out there. This mirrors what's happening in Maryland as well as Pennsylvania, and West Virginia is voting on this year as well. So we're supporting the bill. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Gordon. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? Anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? And as far as I can tell, we have no one in favor or opposition
Mr. Chair.
online. Yes.
Move to report with substitute.
Okay, there's a motion to report the substitute, and there's a second. If the clerk would please open the roll and members cast your vote. Oh, look, we've got the system working now. Okay, Senator Bagby, Senate Bill 437 passes on a vote of 7-0, and you do not need to attend the full Transportation Committee meeting regardless of what notice you get. So, all right, next up.
I'll be there anyway.
Okay, fine.
Mr. Chair, suppose we just want to see him.
I'll be there.
That's fine too. That's
Okay,
fine too.
all right, thank you.
Okay, Senator Bagby, next up is Senate Bill 435.
435 is lane filtering, and lane filtering is when a motorcycle uses the space between a stopped or slow-moving vehicle to pass. This is done to reduce the risk of a rear-end collision with motorcycles when there's traffic congestion. This is one that you will like to hear both sides' testimony, and then I'd like to come back up.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator Bagby. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll start with anyone who wishes to speak in favor. And if you want to go ahead and queue up, and again, we're doing 30 seconds for each person. So please give your name and who you're with. And then we're going to have people come up who want to speak in opposition. So go ahead.
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Mark Flynn. I'm not here on behalf of the Virginia Municipal League. I'm here on behalf of all the people who ride motorcycles, like I rode to work today. I've had 3 occasions in my own life where I've had to lane filter because I've watched my 6, a car coming up, and one time the car hit the car I was behind. California studied it. They had a 43% reduction in crashes, 60% reduction in fatalities, and it actually saves lives. And it doesn't hurt anybody. So I ask you to support it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And who else do we have speaking in favor?
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, my name is Tom McGrath, and I'm with Virginia Coalition of Motorcyclists. And for your information, I have been practicing law in this state for over 55 years. Where I am is, and I understand the clock's running, so let me just go through it. I have sent all of you all of the studies that have been done since 1981, when Harry Hurt wrote a 435 research paper based on 6 years of researching motorcycle accidents, and he recommends this bill.
Thank you, Tom. And who else wishes to speak in favor?
Good evening, Chairman Reed, members of the subcommittee. My name is Thurman Register, and I'm a Virginia motorcyclist. I have about 50 years of riding experience, 39 of those on Virginia highways. I would like for you to respectfully support Senate Bill 435. Motorcycling for me is not a hobby. It's my primary mode of transportation. On average, I ride about 20,000 miles a year across this Commonwealth in the United States. A little over 10 years ago here in Richmond, I was stopped in traffic. I was rear-ended. I was hit by a vehicle behind me.
All right, thank you. Now, do we have anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? If anybody wants to speak in opposition, please come on up and we'll start a queue and we'll set the timer for 30 seconds for each person. Patrick, if you want to go ahead and get started for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the subcommittee, Patrick Cushing on behalf of AAA. We oppose the bill. We do have traffic safety concerns, particularly if people are lane filtering up to the point of a congestion, which can be a lane closure or an accident. Those are areas that we are very sensitive to for traffic safety. 6 states do allow lane filtering. Those are all in the western half of the United States. We don't think that's the right fit for Virginia along the Urban Crescent corridor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Patrick. Who's next? Which side are we going? And again, your name and your organization.
Andy Nagel, I'm president of the Virginia Association of Volunteer Rescue Squads, and we are opposed to this bill for some of the same reasons that were just stated. It's a safety factor. We have concerns about all of our first responders out on the highways. We just don't think this makes sense. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And next up?
Hey, good afternoon, almost evening. Bruce Stratton. I'm with Virginia Association of Volunteer Rescue Squads, also been running rescue on the highway and stuff like this since back in the 70s. And I am a motorcycle rider. I've had a permit probably 50 years for that.
We are concerned about vehicles coming up on the side when you've got a long rescue going on. I've also, while I was riding, never thought it was a good idea to ride beside vehicles and such as that or come up beside and worried about what might happen when all the line of traffic goes forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, please.
Afternoon, Bob Bradshaw with the Independent Insurance Agents of Virginia, and this is clearly a major change to the rules of the road. Our objections are in the area of driver unpredictability and distraction, blind spots for larger vehicles, with the Truckers Association would address, infrastructure limitations, which VDOT talked about. Lanes certainly are just not designed for vehicles, and the motorcyclist hostility and enforcement and misinterpretation of this. Some of our members think it's already illegal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elizabeth.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Elizabeth Parker with Trotman Strategies, representing the American Property and Casualty Insurance Association. We're composed of property and casualty insurance companies, and I'm just here to state our opposition to this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Dale.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Dale Bennett with the Virginia Trucking Association. We're concerned because this is placing those vehicles in the blind spots around the large vehicles that we operate. To do a little math, you put 202-inch wide vehicles in 12-foot lanes, you're only left with about 42 inches to squeeze 36 to 40 inches of motorcycle, and we think that's very dangerous. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dale. Next, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Kristen Petway with Drive Smart Virginia, a traffic safety nonprofit. We also have safety concerns. We educate drivers, and I think this could be very confusing and very dangerous. Thank you.
Thank you. And Major Maxey.
Mr. Chairman, Ron Maxey, Virginia State Police. The type of roadways in which this type of maneuver would be allowed, Virginia Tech studied 2 years worth of data and showed only 4% of crashes actually were to the rear of a motorcycle. This does put motorcycles into the blind spot of vehicles. It will be next to impossible for law enforcement to determine who is exercising ordinary care or intentionally trying to make any maneuver. Therefore, it's going to be left up to trial attorneys and insurance companies. Neither party would be charged.
Thank you, Major Maxey. All right, Senator Bagby, before we come back to you, we have 2 individuals who wish to speak in favor online, and it appears we have no one to speak in opposition, so we're going to go to Ms. Deanna Fierro-Kin online in favor, and you have 30 seconds.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me. I'm a fairly new writer, but it hasn't taken that long to realize that this is a major issue. I'm yet at the level to get to a highway, but I even want to avoid it because I'm worried that I'm always going to get rear-ended. I know that the research also shows that there's a lot of accidents that tend to happen at an intersection, and that is where I fear the most to have an accident. When I ride with my daughter and my husband, who also recently got their license, I make sure that they go in front of me so that if somebody is getting rear-ended, it's going to be me. But that's an unfortunate thought to have to consider. I've bought a 360 camera to be able to prove to anybody when I get rear-ended who's at fault.
Ms. Fierro-Kin, thank you. And next up, we have Mr. Jeffrey Justice.
Good evening, Chairman Reed, members of the committee. I'm a motorcyclist in the city of Charlottesville. I believe that providing a legal escape route for motorcycles serves to decrease the inherent risk of riding. Because 60% of crashes is found by the Hurt Report to occur in moderate to heavy traffic, I disagree that this bill will increase the risk to riders. I instead feel that lane filtering is a choice, not a requirement, and that riders ought to have the option for a safe legal escape route. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Justice. And Senator Bagby, before we come back to you, I see that we have a couple questions from members of the committee, and I will start with Delegate Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the patron for bringing this forward. I do have some concerns about safety. I know that within this particular legislation, there is a requirement for the Commissioner of DMV to have a statewide education campaign. Has the DMV have a position on how much education it will take in order to, change people's driving behavior when it comes to lane filtering?
Do we have someone from DMV here? It does not appear that, I see that we have somebody from VDOT, and I know that we have the state police, but it does not appear that we have anybody from DMV, Delegate
He's
Anthony.
itching to answer this question.
Well, okay.
I told him he's not DMV.
No, I'm sorry. We've done the 30 with 30 seconds. So again, we're not going back to the well on that. Okay. Delegate Anthony, I'm sorry. It doesn't appear that there's somebody here from DMV.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, but I just wanted to raise that concern.
All right. We have a question from Delegate Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question, I guess I'll direct it at council. So I understand the lane filtering within the lanes of travel. Would this allow motorcycle riders to go on the shoulder of the road to then come around and filter in the lanes?
Is council able to? I know that we had discussions about the lane filtering and the shoulders, and there was potential concerns expressed about items being on the shoulder and potential state liability, but I can't remember the exact words of the legislation.
Mr. Chairman, the legislation, if you look at line 13, says an operator of a two-wheeled motorcycle may engage in lane filtering when the operator is on a divided highway with at least 2 lanes of travel in each direction. So it would require them to be on the divided highway.
So it appears, Delegate Ballard, it appears that they would be required to be on the highway, which then means that shoulder is not included in this version of the legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Phillips, I know you have a question also.
Can I speak to the bill?
Yes. Okay. If we're done with questions, then if you want to speak to the bill, then go ahead, Delegate Phillips, and then we'll come back to you, Senator Bagby.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I ride a Harley-Davidson Street Glide, but also in a trucking company. And I think that the dangers outweigh the positives in this case. People do it now. I find it dangerous. A lot of times in slow traffic, this bill says it's not even stop traffic. You can still be going 10 miles an hour, but they can come through the middle of the lane at 20 miles an hour is what the bill says, just in the brief summary that I read. I think that's an issue because a lot of times, as you folks know, particularly in more urban areas, people change lanes constantly to try to get ahead of each other. So when I go like this and I don't see that person in my, it's a head-on collision now, not a rear-end collision. I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen close to happening many, many times. So I think while it addresses one problem, it creates a new one. And so for that reason, I'd vote against the bill.
Okay. Thank you, Delegate Phillips. And we have a correction here from the attorney.
Mr. Chairman, my apologies. One correction. The lane filtering, the definition of lane filtering on line 10 means the act of overtaking, passing another vehicle that is stopped or traveling at a speed not in excess of 10 miles per hour in the same direction of travel while in the same lane as such vehicle or on the shoulders of the shoulder.
So it does allow for shoulders. Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. Delegate Anthony.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion when appropriate.
Okay, hold on to that. I just want to give the last word to Senator Bagby. And then just for everyone else's benefit, Senator Diggs and Senator Cyphers, I appreciate you being here, but we all have to be back at the House in 10 minutes. And so we're going to go at ease, and then we're going to come back when we...
I have nothing, so you can probably get them. I have nothing.
Okay. Delegate Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm worried about safety. I would probably make a motion to continue this legislation to 2027 with a letter to VDOT as well as DMV to put this on their work plan.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I'm not asking for a letter. I just want an up or down vote.
Okay. So...
I will rescind that motion, and I will move to lay this on the table.
All right, there's a motion to lay it on the table. Is there a second? There's a second. The clerk will please open the roll. Okay. By a vote of 7-0 to 1, it is tabled for this year. Thank you, Senator Bagby, and thank you everyone else for coming and being flexible. Senator Diggs and Senator Cyphers, I would love to be able to do you right now, but I want to be able to give your legislation its due course, and we all have to go back to the House floor. So the committee will go at ease. actually going to be on time over there, so if y'all could, are you calling? I'm calling right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Got in front of you, sorry.
Just 1 second. So before us now is Senate Bill 506 with Senator Cipher. So go ahead and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. SB 506, all it does is updates the code for films for windshields. When the existing code was written, the only films that were really available were for tinting windows. Now there are new films out there that help with UV blockage, keep bugs from sticking to your windshield, protect your windshield. This has been through, I think, pretty much all of the parties that might have an interest in this. Everybody's good with the language. This only allows for clear films, and they have to meet some standards for visibility.
All right. Thank you, Senator Cyphers. Are there any questions from anyone on the subcommittee? Okay. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition?
Mr. Chair, move to report.
Okay, there's a motion to report. Is there a second? Second. There's a motion and a second to report. The clerk will please open the roll. All right, Senator Cyphers, that passes 7-0. And I will tell you the same thing I told to Senator Bagby, that you do not have to attend full transportation, regardless of what notice you get, unless you just want to come and see us. Thank you. All right, Senator Diggs, you are up next. And so we're going to do Senate Bill 53.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry for not being here on time. But anyway, so this bill is not a change in policy whatsoever. It passed out of the Senate last year and again this year, and it was worked on by attorneys on the Courts Council, the Commonwealth Attorneys Association, and everybody came to an agreement. And this language really just clarifies that evidence discovered at the time of a traffic stop for driving with no headlights is admissible if it's not otherwise, if it is otherwise legally obtained. There have been police officers, defense attorneys, and even some judges who have erroneously misinterpreted this because of the very last line, starting at 47, that's saying that no evidence is admissible because they don't read the rest of it. So this is just something that clarifies it and makes it easy for everyone that under circumstances where evidence is legally obtained, it is admissible.
Thank you, Senator Diggs. I do have a question, and then I'll go to the rest of the members of the committees. When I was reading this, I felt like the last two sentences were in conflict with each other, because one says that any evidence is, and then the next sentence says that no evidence is. And so I just wanted to see if you could help me better understand that.
I kind of felt the same way myself. However,
all right, then I don't feel so bad.
The attorneys seem to think,
and you're an attorney, right? Yeah.
the attorneys that were involved in that last year and this year were very comfortable with this additional sentence that clarified that, and because it's the words is no evidence as obtained as a result of a stop in violation of this subsection, and reading the subsection, it says you are allowed to stop people for driving with no headlights during the time when they are required. So that is what is confusion about the whole thing, and this is an attempt to clear that up. And it came out of city courts, and they seem to be happy with this attempt. And I didn't write this; the attorneys wrote it. So.
I understand. We have a question from at least one of the attorneys on transportation, which is Delegate Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So understanding what you're trying to get at, which is just clarifying what the courts can do in terms of this evidence, if you're okay with it, I would offer a friendly amendment just to strike that last sentence, because I agree with Mr. Chairman. When you read those two together, they seem to be in conflict with one another. So maybe if we just strike that last sentence, and obviously I'll defer to counsel as well, but I'm happy to offer that friendly amendment.
I appreciate that, and we'll go to if there are any other questions. My concern about this is because, again, this is something that's gone through courts, and I'm really very apprehensive where it's like, if it's gone through courts and now we're trying to make a decision about transportation policy, if we strike something, what type of potential unintended consequences do we generate? So are there questions from anyone else on the subcommittee? And if there are no questions, we'll go to testimony here in the audience. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor? Okay, is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? And let me see here. I do not believe we have anybody online. So, Senator Diggs, you want to give us the last word on this? And I will say, I get it. I've gone through this before where it's like it's taken years to like get the language right. So please understand we know what the intent is, but do you have any last remarks?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think the concerns are right. I certainly wouldn't mind striking the last sentence, although I don't know if it's the committee's pleasure to refer this to courts where, likewise, it started in transportation a couple of years ago, got referred to courts, and this is how we ended up. And
unfortunately, we're at the point during the session where it's like if we refer it back to courts, we're actually making a decision to basically kill it for the year.
Yeah, well, so, I think we could live a little dangerously and either pass it as is or strike that last sentence and let's see what happens.
All right, I appreciate that. Okay, are there any other comments or questions? Is there a motion from the committee? There's a motion to report, and there's a second. There's a substitute motion.
I move to lay on the table.
There's a motion to lay it on the table. Is there a second? There's a second. Okay, that's the superior motion. And so if the clerk would please open the roll and if everyone would cast your vote. All right. Senator Diggs, sorry, by a vote of 7-2, it is tabled, but I really would encourage you, because again, we had some other legislation that I had that was an uncertainty, and we've had to work through these things. So
I certainly understand, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much, and I will be back next year.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
If there's no other business before the subcommittee, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you all.